Happy New Year! It is 2022 and new year, same old procrastinating me. I just wanted to have a quick agenda to really lay out what has changed in my personal life and what will change on this YouTube account. Let's just start with personal. I am engaged. Yeah. December 2021, despite everything happening around in the world, it was really meaningful and great for me. That sounds horrible. As for YouTube, I'm gonna be making a change that is going to be taking me backwards. I say this because last year around springtime, I believe, I made the decision of splitting my justravs account into justravs reads and justravs writes. That was kind of like a trial and error situation where I wanted to see if I could do it, if it worked for me, if that was the way to go. It wasn't. A lot of my booktube content is back onto this account and I've changed my name just to justravs again. But you know, that's what we do. We try things and if they don't work, we just go back to what was working in the first place. Honestly, just gonna be posting whatever I love and it's gonna be kind of like a hybrid slash blend of both communities, and I hope I'm not making a mistake. And now, goals and tips that I suggest for writers and readers in 2022. Well, let's start with writers. First goal, figure out what kind of writer you are. There's this thing in the writing community where you're either a plotter or you're a pantser. I personally take this whole question of what kind of writer you are on a really general basis because I feel like it really is kind of a spectrum. You can't really have a label. In order to figure it out, you have to write. So write and then figure out what works for you. Number 2, word counts don't matter until they do. So there's this discourse on word counts and if counting word counts is actually good for writers or not. I personally would suggest that when you're not competing in a challenge or a competition, or you don't have a specific goal set out, like I am going to write 50,000 words this week. Not this week, this month. If you personally do not have that set out for yourself, then do not count word counts. Every day, every goal that you have as a writer should not depend on how many words you have on the paper. Number 3, have a routine or don't. Say if you work on a routine and that's how you live your life, I would suggest having scheduled days and times that you can get writing done. If you don't and you're kind of a chaotic mess like I am, I would suggest to have like a weekly note of all the things that you'd want to accomplish in your writing goals in the week, and that doesn't put stress on you to focus on like, oh fuck, it's Wednesday, I have to write today. It's more of like, oh, it's Wednesday, I could write today or I could go for a walk with my dog or cat. You don't walk cats. But yes, routine or no routine, your call. Number 4, it's okay to not write. It's okay to not write and it's okay to not beat yourself up because you're not writing. And I know this isn't necessarily a goal you should strive for, but like, why not? I just hate how productivity is forced upon people to emphasize and equate to their self-worth. It is what it is. You're a human being, you're not a robot, so it's okay not to write. And the 5th and final tip that I have for writers in 2022, specifically writers that are querying their work, one thing that I can say without being at that stage yet, have pamper days. I don't know where I heard this, but I heard it from somewhere. If you have certain like milestones, small or big, within the querying process, treat yourself. Make it a goal to be kind to yourself. Okay, readers. If you're trying to stay consistent with your reading and try to make it a part of your daily day-to-day, I would suggest to build habits. What I've been doing personally is trying to fit reading, no matter how long, into my bedtime schedule and my morning schedule. The problem with me is I don't have a schedule and I'm trying to create something that works for me. At least 10 minutes of reading before I go to bed and 10 minutes of reading when I wake up. I want to create some sort of structure within my chaos. Build habits. You don't have to necessarily do the same thing I am doing, but see what works for you. Number 2, make attainable goals. Say last year your Goodreads reading goal was you're gonna read 15 books, but you ended up reading like 3. I would suggest make attainable reading goals based on your past, all the goals that you've had in the past. You're not a psychic, you can't necessarily see everything, but generally people tend to know how their year will play out, kinda. So just know what will keep you busy, what your priorities will be this year, and if it's not reading, try to make a map of like how many books you can kind of fit in this year, if it's possible. So make an attainable goal. Number 3, it's okay to read more than one book at a time. I figured this because I discovered I am a mood reader. If that works for you, great. But if that doesn't work for you and you only read one book at a time, read one book at a time. Number 4, DNF books, please. I'm still struggling with this one even though I'm a mood reader, and it's one of those things where it's just like when you put all your energy into one book, it can lead you into a book you don't like, by the way. It can lead you into a reading slump. I struggle to DNF books, and I hope that those that are listening to my advice followed my advice, even though I struggle with the same advice and same goal. But hey, we'd be on the same page. And lastly, number 5, specifically for people that have a booktube or are thinking of having a booktube, read what you love, not what others love. Okay, well, that's it. As for my personal goals, I'm thinking for writing, just to start my romance, like I highlighted in this video last year. For reading, my new goal, you can follow me on Goodreads, and hopefully my notifications aren't whack and I actually see you so I can follow you back. My reading goal, I think I've put it at 15 again, but whatever. It's a low number. I'm trying to stay attainable, and I'm trying to create attainable goals this year. I'm gonna be reading at least one book every month, and hopefully I can make that happen. Those are my reading and writing goals. If you have any specific reading and writing goals that you're working on currently, please do leave it down in the comments. I hope you're doing well.